In this week's episode, a language of rebellion finally documented for generations to come. But first, he lost his eyesight, but not his vision to heal others. He had a promising cricket career, even being selected to represent his province. But Derek Carter was diagnosed with a severe eye condition that left him completely blind. Derek didn't give up on his life though. He capitalized on his remaining senses, also using them to heal his community. On the 8th of August, Ndiya Makadagera took her son to a physiotherapist in Krugersdorp. He had been suffering from colic. But Ndiya was greeted by something totally unusual.
It was quite a surprise when I walked into his rooms and I found that there was a blind doctor. I was quite surprised. But when I saw him at work, I was quite amazed because it's as if he can see.
Ndiya was amazed at how quickly her son was helped.
He goes through massages. He massages his neck and his back, and you take him to a couple of consultations, anything between 3 and 5. Mine went for 3 consultations, and after that, he never had colic again.
Physiotherapist Derek Carter wasn't born blind.
Started with a bit of eyesight trouble in what's now grade 9. I thought I would get some glasses, and no glasses helped. There was already a marked deterioration in my eyesight. But fortunately, it was good enough still to play cricket and rugby and hockey and tennis and golf and whatever I could play.
Visiting different specialists didn't help. Derek's vision began deteriorating rapidly.
But I worked at a place called United Tobacco in the cost accounting department. But after a few years, it just became increasingly difficult to do the job particularly with the light figures, like penciled figures.
Sadly, Derek's eye condition forced him to abandon his lucrative job as a cost accountant. In a desperate bid to save his eyesight, he flew to England to receive the best medical treatment money could buy. But even they couldn't help. The damage was irreversible. Derek was diagnosed with retinitis pigmentosa, a disease that causes severe visual impairment and often blindness.
It was a condition that couldn't be helped by any medical means, or glasses or anything.
Then came the words he didn't want to hear. Derek's doctor advised him to start preparing for life without his precious eyesight.
When he said, "Why don't you apply for the physiotherapy bursary in England?" which I did. And I got it, but the conditions of that was that I had to learn Braille and typing.
With poor vision, it took Derek up to 18 hours a day to absorb information.
I was quite bitter. I suppose the acceptance was the biggest problem. The acceptance that you now needed to acquire those skills. So I can't say I enjoyed it in the initial stages, but you had no choice.
tough as it was, he finished his studies in the late 1970s and returned to South Africa to start working. By 1982, Derek was in complete darkness.
Adapt or die. I think I just realized I had to do what I had to do. You know, there weren't any options to make a living. I had to try and do what I did as well as I could. I think I was lucky in the sense of having the kind of personality to meet a lot of good friends who helped me.
It's now nearly 3 decades since Derek Carter went completely blind. Not only does he have a thriving physiotherapy practice, but his positive outlook on life has elevated him to greater heights. He is back playing his favorite sports and enjoying life to the fullest. Despite his busy schedule, Derek still found time to head the Lions in Krugersdorp, a global organization he's still part of.
Well, the Lions is a worldwide service organization. Lions Club International is 1.4 million members worldwide. We take the people around the time trial route, people with all sorts of disabilities. We help collect food for the poor. We help assist people who can't afford glasses in Operation Brightside. We have a diabetic awareness campaign. We do, on average, probably about 20 activities a month in this little town here.
I had a frozen shoulder, and he was just so wonderful. He just touched the right points, and I wasn't able to lift my arm, and now I can use my arm as I always used to. So he is a wonderful man. I think he's just got that extra sense and patience. And he's just a wonderful physio.
Fantastic. Drop us an email and let us know what you think. Against all odds at enca.com. You can also be in touch with us on Twitter and Facebook. Still to come, a language of rebellion passed on from one generation to another.